They say Egyptian women carry something of the desert in their eyes, a quiet strength that even time cannot break. But anyone who has seen them in the noise of Cairo or under the shadow of ancient temples knows the true magic of Egypt doesn't begin with the pyramids. It begins with the women who walk with confidence, as if carrying the memory of an entire civilization within them. Egypt is not just a country on the map. It is an entire continent in miniature. Desert, river, sea, and millennia of history layered one over another like pages of a giant book. Situated at the crossroads of Africa and the Middle East, it spans more than 1 million square kilometers, yet most of its life is concentrated along the Nile, a narrow green ribbon cutting through endless sand. The population exceeds 110 million, and each region has its own character, from the loud, scorching Cairo to the cool Mediterranean breeze of Alexandria. This is a land where ancient temples stand beside concrete districts, and the noise of bazaars blends with echoes of Pharaoh's history. Egypt is a country of contrasts, between modern bridges and thousand-year-old pyramids, between the brown dust of the desert and the neon signs of megacities, between age-old traditions and the struggle to move forward. And everything here lives in its own rhythm, a rhythm defined by the Nile for thousands of years, still gathering around itself whole cities, dreams, and human destinies. They say Egyptian women are a blend of desert and water, strong and gentle at the same time. There is something primal in their beauty, dark, deep eyes that seem to hold the silence of ancient temples, velvet skin that catches the sunlight so naturally, as if it was made for it. Movements smooth and soft, yet confident, never rushed. In the provinces, they often cover their hair with a scarf, but the gaze remains open, direct, attentive, sometimes even defiant. In the big cities, Cairo, Alexandria, the style changes. Jeans, sunglasses, light scents of oriental perfumes that linger in the air. But what truly fascinates is not their appearance, it's their behavior. Egyptian women move through the world as if they were born knowing the rules of chaos. They can bargain at the market, run a business, negotiate, raise children, and manage everything with a calmness many could never achieve. They are warm, emotional, with a special way of speaking, as if every word carries a honey-like aftertaste. Yet behind this beauty lies a difficult reality. Only about 18 to 20% of women work in the formal labor market, one of the lowest rates in the world. Around 28% are represented in parliament, and even fewer in business. The gender income gap is felt in every sphere, and social norms still lean toward tradition. Many families believe a woman's mission is the household, and still, they study, work, fight for their space, doing it with a quiet but persistent strength. Egyptian women amaze both with their beauty and the realities they endure. They are like bright flowers growing through the sand, strong, resilient, unbreakable. And perhaps that's why the glances, steps, and smiles of Egypt's women are remembered longer than any pyramid. They say Egyptian buildings don't just stand on the ground. They rest on time itself. Here, every stone remembers the breath of millennia. Egypt's architecture is not a single era, but dozens of voices layered atop one another. Pharaonic temples, Greek colonnades, Coptic monasteries, Islamic madrasas, Ottoman quarters, and finally, the modern bridges and glass towers rising over Cairo. Ancient Egypt is geometry that defies nature. The Giza pyramids stand so perfectly straight, it feels as if they were placed by someone with otherworldly precision. Massive obelisks, the carved walls of Luxor, the bas-reliefs of Karnak, all of it seems unreal, created not by hands, but by some elemental force. Stone here speaks the language of silence. Touch it, and you feel a coldness that has survived thousands of summers. Another chapter is Islamic Cairo, the city of 1,000 minarets. Narrow alleyways, the smell of spices, golden light falling on old wooden lattice windows. The mosques of Saladin, Ibn Tulun, Al-Azhar. They are not just buildings, but entire philosophical systems, where form and symbolism intertwine. The arches flow like waves, one after another, and the inner courtyards feel like small oases.
And then there is modern Egypt, sharp, contrasting.
Glass towers in the new administrative capital, massive interchanges, residential districts rising in the desert. All of this creates the sense of a country trying to leap forward while constantly glancing back at the greatness of its ancestors. Beside skyscrapers stand half-ruined colonial-era houses, and this dissonance somehow looks natural. Egyptian architecture is a dialogue between the past and the present. It doesn't scream like the towers of Dubai, and it doesn't glitter like European palaces. It stands quietly, majestic, but never showy. And when the sun touches the pyramids or minarets in the evening, it feels as if the stone itself glows, with the light of history, the light of memory, the light of a people who knew how to build in a way that could outlast even time. They say Egypt's nature is a battle between two forces, sand and water. And the entire country is born along that thin line where they meet. Look at the map, and you'll see an ocean of desert halted only by the narrow green ribbon of the Nile. But the moment you step onto this land, you understand. Its landscape is not about poverty, but about contrasts. The desert here is not empty. It is alive. In the morning, the wind carries the scent of hot sand, and in the evening, a coolness that sounds in your ears like a distant whisper. The dunes are smooth, as if painted by an artist's hand. Their waves change every day, and if you stop even for a minute, it feels as though the whole world has frozen, waiting for your next step.
But once you descend to the Nile, everything else disappears. The river here is not just water, it is the country's rhythm, its beating heart. At dawn, a white mist rises above the surface, and it feels as if the sun emerges directly from the water. Along the banks stand palms, green fields, and small felucca boats gliding quietly across the waves. The air here is different, heavy, humid, filled with the scent of earth and life.
Northern Egypt is an entirely different story. The Mediterranean brings a cool wind, salty, soft. Evenings in Alexandria are a place of their own, where waves crash loudly against the rocks and the sky feels closer than anywhere else. And in the south, around Aswan, nature becomes harsher. Cliffs, black stones, and a blinding sun that offers no shade at all. And then there is Sinai, a place where mountains rise above the desert like ancient titans. Dawn there is cold, and the air smells of stone and old legends. At night, the stars hang so low it feels as if you could reach out and touch them. Egypt's nature is a contrast that breathes on its own. The wind brings the scent of the sea, the desert brings heat, the Nile brings coolness. And all of this together creates the atmosphere of a country where life is born not despite the elements, but because of them. They say life in Egypt moves in a different dimension, as if time here doesn't hurry but simply watches people from the side. And indeed, the daily rhythm of this country has a special character in which ancient habits, modern city sounds, and the warmth of human relationships blend together. In the big cities, especially Cairo, the day begins with noise. Engines, voices, merchants calling out, the muezzin's chant. All of it creates a melody that is hard to accept at first, but eventually you understand. This is the heartbeat of the city. People drink their morning tea or coffee right on the street, often sitting at plastic tables by the roadside. The coffee here is thick, strong, scented with cardamom. They drink it slowly, as if stretching the pleasure, sometimes in the shade of a palm tree, sometimes by an old wall that has seen more than one generation. In the evening, everything changes. Egyptians live at night. After sunset, people pour into the streets, waterfronts, cafes. Children run around even at 10 at night, laughter echoes from every courtyard, and markets stay open until late. There is no rushing here. Even shopping is done slowly, with conversation, smiles, and the inevitable bargaining. Despite the chaos of the megacities, family remains the highest value. Many households live together: parents, children, grandparents, uncles. Dinner is a ritual. The table always has rice, vegetables, aish bread, sometimes fish or chicken. Meals are cooked generously, enough for guests who may arrive at any moment. Village life is completely different. There, time is measured not by hours, but by the sun. People wake up early, go to the fields, tend livestock, work the land. In the evenings, they sit by their doorsteps, drink tea, exchange news. Villagers are more reserved, simpler, but their words carry wisdom and a warm straightforwardness lost in the noise of big cities. Social behavior has its own color too. Egyptians are open, emotional, hospitable.
If you are a guest, they will feed you, give you something to drink, and walk you to your destination, even if it's out of their way. People love to talk, laugh, discuss news. Personal space is flexible here. Standing close, touching a shoulder, joking, all of it feels natural. And even within this everyday chaos, there is a strange harmony. Clothes dry on old balcony railings. Television voices drift from narrow windows. The smell of spices mixes with the aroma of hot flatbread. Egyptian daily life is not about comfort in the Western sense. It is about life filled with sound, people, movement, and warmth. A warmth that stays with you for a long time. They say Egypt is a country where money disappears as fast as it appears. And indeed, the local economy is a constant balancing act between the desire to live better and the reality that reminds you of itself every single day. The cost of living depends heavily on the city. Cairo may seem inexpensive to a tourist, but for a local, it's a daily struggle. For one person, average monthly expenses, excluding entertainment and travel, are around $350 to $500 if living modestly. For a family of 4, from $900 to $1,400, with most of the budget going toward food and rent. Prices rise faster than salaries, and everyone feels it. Housing is the main expense. Renting a small apartment in a decent Cairo neighborhood can cost $200 to $300, while in the city center, $400 to $600, sometimes more. In the provinces, it's twice as cheap. Many families live in inherited apartments or with their parents. Not because it's more comfortable, but because otherwise it's hard to survive the month. Transport is cheap but chaotic. The metro costs about 30 cents per ride. Buses and minibuses cost almost nothing. Taxis are a small luxury, but still affordable. Food also seems inexpensive, but when the salary is $150 to $250 per month, the official average, it feels completely different. A plate of ful or kosheri costs just $1. Chicken is around $3 to $4 per kilogram. Meat is a luxury people rarely allow themselves. The contrast between the capital and the provinces is enormous. In Cairo, you see shopping malls, cafes, students with tablets, luxury cars. In rural areas, animals on the streets, houses with unfinished floors, and almost no infrastructure. And yet people live, work, dream, despite the difficulties. Egypt's financial reality is simple and harsh. You work a lot, earn little, and spend easily. But despite everything, there is always something bright in the air. A hope that tomorrow will be at least a little better.
And that hope keeps the country afloat more than any economic indicators ever could.
They say Egypt is a country that cannot be explained with words. It can only be felt. The desert wind, the smell of the sea, the cries of merchants,
the silence of temples. All of it lives side by side here, as if different eras decided not to fight, but to share the same home. Egypt doesn't shout about itself. It simply stands, ancient, warm, stubborn. And if you stay even for a single day, you will understand everything without words.